Nick, thank you so much for making some time today. We really appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Perfect. So, as you walk through the festival site here at OSHEAGA 2024, talk to me about some of the thoughts and feelings that are going through your mind as you watch, what your team has brought to life over the past, decade.
Honestly, I was watching the crowd watching Green Day yesterday and looking at all these people that were just singing along and so happy, and you took a minute to be like, okay, our team's persevered to do this for 17 years, and 55,000 people are really, really having a good time because of something we managed to create. It's a very good feeling. For me, it's like always this whole festival experience is about fan experience, artist experience. So if we are able to nail, if I talk to artists and they're super happy and everything's been great and smooth, and seeing all the people just smiling, walking around the site. Like I must have done 25,000 steps a day. And everywhere, people are, dressed the same. And it's just like the vibe was great. The vibe was just, for me at least personally, the vibe was fantastic this year.
Absolutely. I mean, we see so many festivals come and go throughout the years. Obviously, a very volatile space. What would you say is the biggest factor that keeps OSHEAGA going and evolving every single year?
I mean, honestly, we have, I think, one of the best sites in North America. Like, this site is spectacular. For those of you who have never been here, we're on an island in the middle of the St. Lawrence River next to Montreal. You can come by subway. It's incredible. It's like an amazing, canvas for our team to try to create stuff on. And for 17 years, we've always tried to evolve. We've always tried to keep it, I always talk about the wow factor. Like, I want people to get on the site and then be like, wow, that's cool, right?
Yeah.
So if we can get that, then I feel like we're doing something right. So it's really, I think, a combination of a great island, a great city, the best production team, best team in the world. Like we go from OSHEAGA to Il Sonic, our EDM festival, to a country festival, with 5 days in between each one. And you got to change the look and the feel and the branding and all that. It's a really difficult job. And I'm always blown away by how well our team does it. And everybody's very conscientious. We brought in, it's been hot, really hot the last 3 days. And overnight last night, they brought in another 20% more water. So they were able to go out, source more water fountains. Quickly, hook it all up because we'll see what's being said on social media. We listen to the people and we're like, we have to, make sure to constantly improve. So I think that attention to detail has allowed us to survive. I think the programming, obviously the lineup is super important. There's 6 of us that book it together as really a team that fights for, for what they want to hear and what they believe should be on the festival, and a lot of arguments. And I think that's what creates a really, younger people, older people, people are into hip hop, people are into old music like me, Green Day, and I grew up on punk rock and hip hop and stuff, but we have a team that's experts in electronic, Afrobeat, whatever it is, we know about it, and everybody really works hard together to put together a lineup that, the goal is always to have something, enough of something for everyone, and if we can do that properly, then it really, then it's successful.
Talk to me about the time commitment of maintaining OSHEAGA every single year. How many man hours do you think are being put in every year, and how does it compare to the other projects that you run as well?
I mean, it's the biggest thing we do by far. It's huge. 2,500 people working on site every day, which is a massive. With the first year, I think we did 5,000 people total. So to be having almost as many people working as came is kind of mind blowing.
That's unreal.
We become I think it's the 14th biggest city in Quebec for the whole weekend. So with that comes a lot of responsibility, security, bathrooms. You have to think of what you need in a city of 55,000 people. So it's a huge, huge undertaking, but it's, I love it. And I think, the amount of man hours that go into it, all the departments working, we do 1,500 shows a year on top of this. We do 7 festivals. So OSHEAGA is the biggest.
Yeah.
I could not even imagine how many man hours go into this. And
Yeah.
once people start building the site, like 3 weeks to a month out, so people live on this island for like a month and a half. It's crazy. Yeah.
What would you say is the most challenging part about running all of those logistics? Is it the people? Is it just making sure everything runs smoothly once everybody's inside?
I think the biggest challenge is always the logistics, weather.
Right.
There's so many things that we don't have control over, so we try to make sure that we are like ready for as many things as possible. We had a shutdown today for like 10 minutes because, we know that we have a protocol. If lightning is somewhere within, 8 kilometers,
Right.
we shut down until it's passed. So very conscientious about that. Security is super important. So yeah, I think it's logistics, and I mean the lineup is impossible because you get one chance to do it.
Yeah.
And you do it, you put it out there, you work a year and a half on it, and then within 5 minutes people let you know how they feel about it. And sometimes it's more positive than others, but the last 2 years have been super positive.
Now, you've spoken about starting in promotion before social media was very prevalent.
Before the phone, no.
That's it. I mean, how do you think social media has impacted OSHEAGA and the promotion event space in general?
I mean, social media is the focus of everything we do. Content. We have a great team that's super creative. I think that social media is, I used to put up posters for my shows. I used to hand out flyers for my shows. We still do some of that, but like mainstream, conventional, traditional media has taken a back step. Like, if it wasn't for social media, Chapel Rowan doesn't become Chapel Rowan in 6 months.
Yeah.
So the speed that you can reach people, we have a fan base that's awesome, so we can reach them and we can give them the information that they need quickly. So it's a game changer. People can discover music in like 5 minutes. It took me I had to go to New York and
Right.
Toronto and record stores and trying to find music,
Digging through crates.
and getting tapes from your friends.
Yeah.
That's how old I am. So yeah, the speed with which people can consume and listen to whatever they want is fantastic. Makes me happy.
Absolutely. Just real quick before we wrap up, is there a specific artist that was really logistically challenging to book that when you saw them on stage you thought, wow, I can't believe that this worked out for all parties?
I mean, Green Day was on a stadium tour, so they
Right.
were huge, right?
Yeah.
That's like 160 people on tour. Those are like, we rarely get, we get massive artists that are, but
Right.
they're not, like a stadium tour requires so much more than a festival in terms of like traveling around. So that was huge amount of work for our team. And also, we've done some, with Justice and Martin Garrix over on the other side on our
Yes.
smaller stages. That's been very challenging because those are massive tours that, a lot of trucks and stuff. So we're not really used to that. So I'd say those, probably the biggest challenges for our team was trying to make sure that we could accommodate what they needed. Yeah.
And finally, what do you hope for festival goers is the takeaway after a weekend at OSHEAGA?
I mean, we want to create, it's going to sound cheesy and corny, but we want to create memories. Like, I want people to come up to me like 5 years later and be like, dude, that band, that I'd never even heard of, they're like favorite band now. Like, the discovery of new music, like for me, that's, I just love it. I love it when people, remember, oh, that time at OSHEAGA. We've had people get married here. We've had over the years, it's become, such an important part for a lot of people's lives, which to me is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So, I just hope we get to keep doing it and people keep coming out.
It's incredible. Nick, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.